All right, welcome everybody. This is the MLO Bros. I am the third MLO Bro. It's a snowy Tuesday morning, and usually you would have a normal host for this program, but they just decided that it was too dangerous for them to leave their houses. And they have the proper tools. I know Luke has a truck that has four-wheel drive, and it's just a death trap as far as he's concerned. So I'm going to just, because you were promised that they were going to have some kind of broadcast, I decided to go live for a couple minutes and excoriate the people who are too scared to come out in 3 inches of snow. Like, you live in fricking Ohio. Now, I'm telling you, like, I push back a lot on these guys. And in fact, if they would have shown up today, that we would have had a little discussion about how feminized and how the wussification of people are, that, everybody's looking for an out. Everybody's looking to take the day off, or I can't do my job or whatever. And so in ambush posture, just waiting for just enough obstacle for you to say, like, I just don't feel like risking it. My life is in peril. And I would not have a problem with that, so long that, you played it safe at any other time. But when it comes to working, and I found a way here. Like, I went 35 miles an hour on the freeway to get here. I left early, and I showed up on time because I'm responsible, and I'm true to my word when I say I'm going to show up, that I do. Not everybody's like that. You have a bunch of softies who, they mock the real warriors in our community who show up when they say they're going to. So just want to take a minute and thank all of you for coming through on your promise to be listeners and viewers, even though our normal hosts decided that they are, they're too seepy in order to show up to give you the content that you so rightfully deserve. And so I hope all the school children who today will absolutely terrified to be on the roads. There will be nobody on the roads because it's obviously too dangerous to go out in public with 3.5 inches of snow. They will not go outside because of the dangers that are just lurking around every corner. They won't go to Chuck E. Cheese or Burger King, or they won't get their perfect Chick-fil-A wrap or that Jesus chicken, because of how petrified they are for their own safety. And so I, again, thank you all for joining us today. And I want to excoriate the MLO Bros for not being as manly as they purport to be during their shows. So if any of you, I'm only going to go a couple minutes here as I truly point out how wussified everyone freaking is. And there were my brethren on the freeway today, and they were also traveling at a safe speed for the road conditions, and they pulled into parking lots like they always do. And there was a little bit of snow, but you live in a frickin' Ohio, so you are comfortable and experienced in what to do. Like, what do you do? Oh my God, there's precipitation that is in a solid form that is falling on your driveway. What do I do? Can my car drive? Can I perform my job today? No, I cannot. I must stay home and sacrifice the economy because I'm just too freaking scared. Michael Hogan says Hogs would have filled in. Maybe next time. There are true warriors out amongst us, and those are the people that are protecting us. I was driving down the freeway this morning. There was a spin out. So maybe it's a little more dangerous than it normally is. People drive 65 when they shouldn't be, and they spun out. So there were 3 fire trucks that are on the side of the road saving the person that doesn't know how to compensate for the road conditions. And but those firefighters, they knew how to drive in the snow. They knew that they had to be there for the dummies in our society who obviously don't. So if you let me lay out, like, if I were to advise somebody on how to still show up for work on time, here's number one: get up earlier. Right? You know that weather's coming down. it was relayed to you, communicated with you properly, that you're going to drive slow on the way to work. Then you get in that front wheel drive vehicle and you just start going 15, 20 miles an hour. And everybody around you will say, you know what? You're a safety conscious person and you can make your way to work. Although, if you just feel like your life is too valuable to take that risk, then you're like, no, I'm not going to take that risk. And the rest of us will show up and freaking do our jobs. Jerry says, made it from Lowville to Boardman and family made it from Lowville to Farrell, Newcastle, and Columbiana. So it is possible to still do your job, to let your nutsack drop just a little bit and be a man and show up for freaking work instead of this softness. And, you know, the pushback I would have given had the MLO Bros been here today is we're conditioning and we are training and we're teaching our children that the first obstacle, like we were the primitive versions of ourselves. We'd walk out in a field and we would fight a freaking tiger, right? And how far we've fallen that 3.5 inches of snow comes down and all of a sudden we have we see extreme danger in that. And we just do not know how to freaking cope. So you all are responsible. Those of you who are making arguments for shutting down the entire school system, robbing us of, what is it, like $100 a day per child to learn stuff, just throwing that out and taking advantage of that people don't know how to drive deal. Don't understand it, don't agree with it, and I think we should be stronger and be willing to conquer something as easy as 3.5 inches of snow. So thank you all for listening. The MLO Bros are officially pussies as far as this show is concerned, the studio is concerned. And just know when things get tough, they're just a no-show. And it's just a reality. It's a measurement that I can take right now because somehow Joe in his $30,000 Jeep Wrangler 4x4 turned on the 4-wheel drive and somehow at 7:00 found my way to this parking lot to do my freaking job. Carter Stone, no MLO Bros. No, they're pussies and they are too soft for a little bit of snow and they took advantage of the excuse to just not do any work today. So both of them right now I'm picturing in front of the game console and they are just playing video games today and completely confident in the fact that they didn't go uphill, bare feet, both ways in snow. And they're confident that you too will join them in the pussification of our entire society. Let's see. Luke isn't calling yet. No, I don't even have the phones on. So there's a rigid sacrifice. I think it's too dangerous to turn on the phones. So I'm just a little too afraid. This mouse click. Oh my goodness. Like, what if I get carpal tunnel when I click on these phones to not let Luke come on here and defend himself for his pussification? And BJ in the back says, I made it in the same time with a Nissan Sentra. Yeah. So Luke has a truck. So, like, here's the thing. Like, everybody who buys 4-wheel drive trucks, they're compensating for something, right? But you totally expect when it's their Super Bowl, when they can show you that their 4-wheel drive is better than yours, they get their ass in, they load up their sandbags, they put on their 4-wheel drive, and they freaking show up. But even those people, the dude driving down the road in a Hummer isn't thinking, like, how can I claim that I'm just scared today? And they park the Hummer and say, it's just too much of a challenge for my softness and my fragile masculinity. Stephanie says maybe people have become more risk averse because the other idiots driving on the road. And that is a fair point. And I left super early. I actually got to work about 45 minutes in advance because I wanted to miss the people who were, they were novices. And it's like they have these short-term memories where they don't know what snow is and how to drive in it. So I wanted to avoid those people. So I left about 45 minutes early. So risk aversion isn't like I have one option and I take that option. It's you make accommodations and you survive. And when the tiger attacks, you will survive that deal. We've lost that instinct. And so we got a bunch of pussies out there that can't drive. And they just throw up the white flag and be France. That's it. Kellen says, I made it to work. What bullcrap. Yeah, those people who are too soft to show up for their job is, and Kellen and I talk a lot about how soft people are. And you have two options. Either you complain about the soft people or you crush the soft people. If you know your competition will throw up the white flag, then you just crush them. That's like your only option. And you don't feel bad about it because when it's on the line and you're in the foxhole and you want a survivor next to you, you don't want any of these shitty soft people next to you. You want somebody that's going to be crying in the fetal position when it comes to picking up the M16 and hitting the nest that's in front of you, right? Carter says, LOL. And it is a laughing matter, but it also is very serious as a reflection of where we're at culturally. Luke was quick to mock the people who weren't excited about having a snow day. And it's pretty regular. So like in the beginning of the season, the first snow, schools are super quick to cancel because, oh my God, what is this stuff? Like, what am I going to do? I forget how to drive completely. And then you get to like January and February and you can get 8 inches and they don't cancel school. So if you take the first snow and the last snow and compare them, what we tolerate by the time we've gotten used to those kind of conditions, it's just a matter of the skill set of the person that is trying to get to school. Do I feel that bus drivers have a harder time getting kids to school and it's more dangerous? Sure, absolutely. And do I think that they should take their time and maybe do our quick 2-hour delay to give people the ability to do things safely? Yeah. But it's almost like somebody goes to a dentist appointment in the morning and they take the rest of the day off. Like, what was the reason for the rest of the day off? Is it because you're in so much pain? And when it comes to the things that you want to do, you're like, I can't do that shit. I can't go out to the bar and watch the football game tonight because I had a dentist appointment this morning and I'm in so much pain. I'm just not going to do that. No, you come to the conclusion that you do your due diligence, you be an adult and be responsible, and you do what's required of you. No matter if you want to do it or not, you aren't looking for the excuse to not do your responsibilities. Let's see. Linda says you have work ethic. And I think all people should have work ethic. And it's only going to be a matter of time before AI comes on the scene and everybody starts contemplating like what I'm unwilling to do, the robots will do for me. And you'll be able to like really like round yourself out with the excuses that you made when somebody is super willing to just fill in for you. So if Bob has, a weakness and the robot has no weaknesses. They don't make no excuses. They work 24 hours a day. You're basically going to be challenged by someone who's willing to do more for you. And you had the opportunity. Those of you who had work ethic could show up for work anyway, even though there was a snow day, and allow those people to rise up. Michael says, when the rock gets hard, you got to get harder than the rock. And Carter says, maybe they were cold because they have no sleeves. That's true. And hypothermia is a real deal. And I'm thinking that when I go to my closet and I have sweatshirts and I have jackets, it's not real difficult to put on the proper suit of armor to slay the day. Well, we do appreciate you, Joe, says Carter, and thank you for that. And I'm only mocking them because they're not here. If they were here, I would have a much different tone in front of them. Maybe not. I would still be mocking, but at least they could talk back. And the only reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do is because they're not here. Kellen says, how do you feel if someone is able to remote work from home and chooses to do that in bad weather instead of going into the office? If the we proved out during COVID that remote work was, was possible. And so get that teacher in front of the camera and get your students gathered in and do at least something. Like here are choices. Do a school day where you go to physics class and learn how the world works. Do remote work and maybe get 50% of what you would get in a classroom, or do nothing and just play video games and be a complete waste of a 24-hour period. Which would I choose? I would choose the one that I could do and gives me a little bit for the value that the taxpayer is paying. And I will assure you that the taxpayer is paying today, and we are getting no value for it. So thank you to our administrators who thought that a snow day was a great reason to take. You had Thanksgiving off, then all of you mailed it in on Friday, and then Monday you worked a half-assed day because you were just coming back, and now Tuesday you got a snow day. So it's like we've got 5 days, four business days of getting way less than we're paying for. So I hope you're happy. Jerry says, I wonder if the show took place and during the show we had a blizzard of 4 to 6 inches. Would they have left after the show or stayed until the roads were safe? Yeah, just hanging out, drinking bubbly water, and just knowing that they could not embark on these unsafe roads. And they would just hang out and do nothing because they're just so petrified of the safety concerns on the way to the road. So that is a great perspective to take. And it puts a checkmate on those who will just take the easy way out when it's super convenient. So I compliment all of you who made their way into work today. You are better people than the people who took advantage and said, I'm just going to blow off another day, starve the economy of my talent, and cost the taxpayers even more than we already overpay. So I am thankful, and I'm belligerent against those people who are just, I don't know, too self-interested to give good value to the rest of us that are out there. As much as I dislike school snow days as an adult, I remember the excitement of a snow day as a kid and how happy those mornings were. I love that for kids. Yeah, and just watch those kids as they go about their day. And, you got 80 years on this planet. You got maybe 25 formidable years where you just like take in sponge all of the information, and you rob those kids of one of those days. And maybe when they take their IQ test, they're a 100. And thank those snow days for robbing them of the 50 extra genius points that they could have had if you wouldn't have put them in front of Fortnite or Minecraft or anything else that's going to rob them of the intellect that they could have had if you wouldn't have been able to see the danger in 3.5 inches of snow. So great parenting, parents. Stephanie says, better load up on the pacifiers for Friday. Yeah, and depends. Like, you really need to have some urine collection devices and just all of the softness. I think everybody should take advantage. Those who stayed home today should really take advantage of really moisturizing the skin, removing dangers from the world, because obviously you've got a good barometer on things that threaten your livelihood. And so I would spend the day just defending the softness that you are, like the bubble boy that really, the disease that comes through the door, I can't handle it. So I put myself in that, air purified, free of disease, free of bacteria and germs. Live your best life today in the, wearing the life vest and the floaties, and really protect yourself because you need it. All right, I'm out of here for today. I just wanted to take a couple minutes to dehumanize, emasculate the people that usually sit here. Joe Midlick says, Joe, this boomer made it from McDonald to Hermitage to deliver the food that people in need. I just left earlier. This just shows how weak Luke and Isaac are. And I I can't defend them. And typically I like them. They're friends of mine. And I can't defend their total lack of courage to make it down here today. Joe's feeding people, like literal essential worker, making sure that people are provided for. And you don't think, Luke, sitting in front of me right now, you don't think you have a role to play in society at large? And now, after being off for Friday, after you ate so much turkey, you can't do a show. And then on Tuesday, where there's too much snow, like they're scheduled to be here on Friday. What obstacle is going to get in their way of being able to show up on Friday? Maybe it's like, everybody's got this cough and I don't want to get it. Or maybe the ozone layer is depleted to a point with heavy breathing here. You just never know on the next cancellation for the MLO Bros. But I promise you, if they don't show up on Friday, I will prepare better than I did today to be able to bring some content where they are just not capable of doing. So all of you, thank you for joining me. I apologize on behalf of the MLO Bros who are right now in bras and panties right now. And we don't lay down any cover fire for them. They were just not here because they are weak. So thank you for joining us, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Kellen and I will be back. Kellen is actually a warrior. I am actually a warrior, and we will provide the show that all of you come to expect from us.
Thank you for listening to this show on Youngstown Studio. This is original Youngstown content. Feel free to share our videos and tell your friends about us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. Thank you for your support.